So guys, we're first going to start with AJ Brown's measurables. This guy is 6'1" and he weighs about 226 pounds. He runs a 4.49 40 and he was able to rep 225 for a total of 19 reps. Just looking at his physique, he's probably in the 9 to 12 body fat percentage, which is ideal when it comes to being aesthetic and looking good overall. That is what makes AJ Brown a little different. The average person like you and I stands in about 5'9", weigh almost 200 pounds for that menial height, and we're definitely not pushing up 225 for 19 reps. Our 40 time is not the same, and all these things are huge reasons why a lot of people look at these NFL athletes as elite genetic freaks. But we have to take a look at these players in closer detail because there's a lot of things that go under the radar, especially when it comes to PEDs. Now, you already know your boy DeeTalk been in the gym. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I've been doing my thing. And a lot of people in the NFL do actually abuse steroids, abuse PEDs, but are able to get away with it. These are things that actually happen. I'm not lying to you guys.
Like, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. But, like, all right, I know the piss got to be warm, first and foremost. I know the cups that they're using. I already Googled them. Boom. I don't order 50 of these motherfuckers already. You get what I'm saying? So it's simple, though. It ain't really that hard.
This is something that is well known around the league. If you're in NFL circles and things like that, these guys are actively using PEDs to increase their performance. Guys, think about this. If you are a person who can and has the ability to get paid millions of dollars a year just to be physically better than another man, wouldn't you be tempted to do PEDs? NFL players, athletes in general, are the most incentivized people to go out there and use drugs. We see this in the MLB a lot, but they crack down on it because they actually care about long-term records with their sport. But when you go to the NFL and the NBA specifically, guys, the amount of PED users is absolutely insane.
So with the NFL and NBA, they don't have the same restrictions. They let them know. I mean, if people think the NFL players can just take that many hits and recover that fast and play that many games, and same with the NBA, people are crazy. These guys are taking stuff to recover faster, be stronger and faster and all that.
And I'm not just talking about steroids. It's going to give you a lot of freaking muscle. Okay, I'm talking about things like growth hormones. I'm talking about peptides. I'm talking about EPOs. I'm talking about these things that are subtle, but give these players such a great advantage. And we all leave it up to the term, he did it for recovery. And that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to look at AJ Brown's physique and see exactly if this guy is natural or not, or if he could actually be doing some things on the side that could warrant a drug test, my boy. I ain't letting anybody slide. We're about to make football content fun again. Subscribe, my boy. Let's get into it. Now, the best way to really tell if a person has used any form of testosterone or actual muscle building hormones that could make them better than you and I is from looking at where they were when they first started their journey. So when we look at AJ Brown in high school, he looked like a guy that would be putting on a lot of muscle in the future. He sort of has that mesomorph sort of aesthetic where he kind of looks like someone that can put on a lot of muscle. I, for one, am someone that is a mesomorph, and I have a pretty decent physique, as I would show as I'm talking about right now. I think I'm pretty developed, and most of you guys out there who actually go to the gym and watch football, you're trying to look like these guys, but AJ Brown clearly has the body type that is easier to put muscle on. That's your mesomorph, and he's a little taller. That's where you have the ectomorph in there. I don't think he's a guy that's gonna put on a lot of fat like your endomorph and things of that nature. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm learning all of this as I'm doing research for the video, but it seems like AJ Brown can do this, and it's not gonna be difficult for him. When we move to college, though, that's where it gets a little interesting because I see that he hasn't really put on a lot of size from high school coming into college. Maybe he wasn't focusing on the gym that much, but this guy, from his first year at Mississippi to his last year at Mississippi, he absolutely glowed up. His body transformed. Look at the biceps on this kid. Look at the definition in the muscle. The way he was built, his final season at Mississippi was absolutely crazy, guys. Everybody wants to look like that. Everybody wants to have a physique like that. if you're someone that is actually interested in bodybuilding and things of that nature, that is what AJ Brown is showing us here. He's showing us that he can put on muscle quickly. He spent 3 years in college. Boom, muscle on him. He already looks freakish. He comes into the NFL draft. He benches 19 reps of 225. Insane. I think deep down his genetic coding, genetic nature and all that gives him a higher propensity to be better than all of us. That kind of sucks, man. Damn. Maybe for some of you guys out there, if you're endomorph, if you're ectomorph and things of that nature, you know, you can still pull on the muscle, but it might be a little harder, but you have other traits. Ectomorph, you're taller, right? Endomorph, you just get more stocky. You can just be built like crazy. But yeah, we move on to the NFL and look at this guy standing next to DK Metcalf. He looks jacked. I think that's a 7-pack right there. He is actually the only person I've seen with a 7-pack, apart from me, because I actually have a 7-pack. I thought something was wrong with me, but yeah, I got a 7-pack, nigga. What you talking about? And this guy, he eats pretty well as well. Like, I can't just go on and say AJ Brown isn't a hard worker. He doesn't eat the right kind of food. I don't eat all that well, okay? I will eat fruits here and there, but look at this. This is what I have right now. I have Easter candy that I'm freaking eating. I know this video is so weird for you guys. I know. I love bodybuilding, and I can't not have it be a part of this channel, okay? But I eat candy all the time. AJ Brown is eating like a king. He has salmon. He's drinking good quality water. This is what really builds that good physique. You have the micronutrients in there. You have everything that's needed to really facilitate your body. It's not all about protein powder and supplements. It's also about the food that you eat. And because he has the money, that obviously allows him to build a better physique than you and I. And that is why when we just look at AJ Brown right now, look at who he is as a person, I think he is not doing testosterone. I think his body was achieved from hard work and a lot of NFL money. But now let's look at his actual history and see if he's dabbled into the PEDs that I'm talking about, right? Into some of those minute things on the side that you might not know these guys are taking, and then you go and compare yourself to him. Let's take a look at his injury history. So in 2020, right, this guy had a double knee injury and he decided to play through the double knee injury. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That is obviously gonna be very painful. If you had a double knee injury, would you play through it for an entire NFL season with 300-pound behemoths running at you the entire time? Of course not, but he did it. And how does he do it? He's obviously taking drugs. And this is what really is leading me towards the path that this guy regularly takes HGH, regularly takes peptides and things of that nature. To go through that knee injury, he's definitely doing some corticosteroid injections, and these are the things that can help with pain and all of that, guys. I'm no guru. I don't know anything about all these things. Fact check me. But if this guy is playing through 2 double knee injuries for a whole season, he's definitely having some injections on the sideline. All of those things you can say, oh, he's using it for recovery. But here's what that does. That's going to help a lot with just your mental side. Once you have a substance in you that can make you perform better or feel less, that's going to help your psychology as you play the game. That's going to make you run a little harder. That's going to make you hit a little harder, be a little less fearful, be calmer. All these things are factors of taking these drugs that impact the game that people don't talk about. We always go down the route. It's just for recovery. What if it's not just recovery? What if it's actually impacting the game? What if it's actually making these guys work out more to put on more muscle? Some of us, we go to the gym, we might tear a muscle. Like I hurt my wrist all the time, right? Like I would get injured and shit like that. These guys have the means of literally healing, like in double the time that you can heal by just buying HGH because they have the money for it.
You have vehemently denied the allegations with the HGH.
Right.
Bullshit.
He had a grade 2 hamstring injury in 2021, and he came back from this pretty quickly. We don't understand how quickly these athletes heal up, but here it is. Here is why they heal up this quickly. There's something called the TUE. This is the therapeutic use assumption. If you're an athlete, especially in the NFL, where it's kind of like okay to do steroids at times, you can actually use TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. You can also just use steroids. Those 3 weeks where you're actually injured, right? You can use any drug possible due to the TUE. So you don't know if this guy is taking HGH to heal that injury faster. You don't know what these guys are doing to heal these injuries faster. And that's why I can't wrap my head around the fact that yes, AJ Brown might have built his physique through hard work. I think he's used things like peptides. I think he's used things like HGH. I think he's used definitely EPOs, right, to help with just that blood circulation, everything like that, and blood oxygen. He's definitely used all these drugs. So I don't think as a natural person, you can look like AJ Brown. And here's the caveat, y'all. All of these things now are going to start falling on college kids, because at the collegiate level, we're going to see more and more people try to go down the routes of using PEDs because it's more competitive. People are getting paid a lot more money, and obviously that's going to lead to kids now trying new drugs and all these things that could have psychological effects. Steroids and all these drugs, all these hormones that athletes have to take to perform at their highest level, they have psychological effects, and sometimes you don't understand why athletes are just more angry than you, why these guys are getting into fights. Well, it's sometimes because of the drugs that they're taking, ways to recover from injury. And you say, I'm gonna take HGH for 3 weeks, right, to recover from this injury. You don't know how much that's going to impact your mood. You don't know how it's going to impact your personality. You don't know how much it's going to impact you in the long run. Things like taking peptides. People are actually going testosterone when they're healing in the NFL. This is a fact. People are actually taking TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, legal steroids in the NFL. That has an ability to impact your brain, impact the way you interact with other people, impact your life, your family.
I don't think the fans give a fuck about drug testing. You know, I don't think, look, and I think this is for all, like the Olympics, I get it, but the NFL, like seriously, why you even fucking, why?
Right. What do you test? What do you want the sport to suck? The most exciting thing is to hit a home run. But what it really is science. Like they'd figure out there's a way where you recover more, you get stronger, you get faster. Like, hey, do that, guys. And by the way, everybody else is doing it too.
So my verdict is AJ Brown is natural in the... Well, he's not natural. I'm going to say AJ Brown definitely uses performance-enhancing drugs, but he's not using testosterone. When it comes to the NFL and sports level, I think AJ Brown is not natty. That is my consensus. He is not natty, but he is not a bodybuilder, not natty. He's not juicing like crazy. Thank you all for watching. Peace out. Bye-bye. Mwah.